The story begins with Carrick, a young shapeshifter. He lives with his family in the mountain. He can take human form, but he spends most of his time as a cougar. A cougar is a large cat species found in America, similar to leopards and cheetahs in other parts of the world. His family warns him not to talk to humans, but gradually, he develops a desire to understand humans. So, he leaves his family, and later, a human family adopts him. One morning, while having breakfast with his new family, he sees a news report in the newspaper. The report says that various animals have been attacking humans for the past few days. These attacks were steadily increasing. That morning, Carrick said goodbye to his siblings and left with his mother in the car. His mother, Melody, was taking him to see a new school. During the journey, Carrick noticed two crows flying behind them. He suspected they might also be shapeshifters. In the evening, the family was tired and stopped at a hotel along the way, but the crows were still following them. At night, Carrick heard a noise outside. He went to the window and saw a pack of wolves heading down the street. Suddenly, the power went out in the building across the street. The next morning, the family set off again and arrived at Clearwater High School a few hours later. As soon as he got out of the car, Carrick became suspicious. He saw that the same crows that had been following them were now standing there as school students. Just then, Principal Lisa arrived and greeted Carrick. She asked Carrick's mother how she found him. Anna explained that his real parents were never found. A few years ago, she received a call about rescuing a boy. When she went there, Carrick was sitting there, completely frightened and scared. Anna lovingly called him over and explained things to him, and Carrick liked her so much that he convinced his husband that they should keep him. Carrick didn't trust anyone else. Because of this, Anna and her husband eventually adopted him. As soon as Carrick passed his 10th grade exams, I received an invitation from your school. She thought that Carrick might be happier, a little further away from the city, as he wasn't very happy at his old school in the city. Anyway, Lisa then told Anna that she wanted to talk to Carrick alone. As soon as Anna left, Lisa said, "I know your secret." She explained that everyone in this school is a shapeshifter. You are one too. That's why you received the invitation. Here, you don't need to hide your secret from anyone in the school. Suddenly, the school alarm went off. The principal immediately left to see what had happened. She saw that Carrick's mother and sister were wandering around the campus. So Lisa told her assistant to quickly get them out of there, lest they see someone transforming. Carrick was very happy to see so many different species of animals gathered in one place. He had seen other shapeshifters like himself for the first time. As he was walking around the school, he met a gang of boys, led by a boy named Jeff. An animosity arose between them from the start. But then, their teacher, James, arrived and stopped their fight. A little later, all the school children were introduced. Anna left her son there and went back. As she and Melody walked back to the car, a wealthy man, Andrew Milling, arrived on campus. Andrew is actually the one who funds the school. After saying goodbye to his family, Carrick met Andrew. He explained that he was tired of wandering around like an animal. He felt that there was much more to life than just roaming around as a cougar. When he arrived in his new room, he was told the school rules. As soon as the principal left, a squirrel came to the window. He opened the window, and the little squirrel came inside and introduced herself. She said, "My name is Holly, and I've been assigned as your guide for now." Then she took him to his first shape-shifting class. Before the class started, their teacher, Mr. Elwood, reminded everyone that they should only use their powers in class. They were not allowed to use them in front of humans outside. Changing their bodies in front of them could be very dangerous. They would be caught and experimented. Since Carrick was new to the school, he was asked to demonstrate his shape-shifting abilities in front of everyone. But before he could do anything, a boy named Brandon transformed into a wild buffalo. He had less control over his powers, which is why he couldn't maintain his human form for long. When Carrick saw how easily this boy transformed, his confidence wavered. He hadn't transformed in a long time, but then Lisa helped. She reminded Carrick of his old life, when he used to roam and play in the forest with his parents. Hearing all this, Carrick also revealed his true form. After that, the principal asked all the students to transform. That's when Carrick understood that Jeffrey and his friends stayed together because they were a pack of wolves. At that moment, Lisa said that he would gradually learn to balance his human and animal form. A few hours later, while he was relaxing in his room, Brandon arrived. He introduced himself as Carrick's new roommate. Suddenly, Holly also showed up and said that it was time to go to the cafeteria. After eating, Carrick met Dorian. Dorian is a boy who can transform into a cat. Before coming to this school, he was living as a pet in a human family's home. But then one day, they saw him opening a can of fish himself. They kicked him out of the house. Now Carrick's mountain lion form was revealed to everyone. He was now a very dangerous animal, so all the children started respecting him. But at the same time, the children who transformed into weaker animals became afraid of him. Because of this, many children started staying away from him because he was a threat to them. A boy named Bo, who transforms into a small, cute rabbit, was always very scared. Carrick saw Jeffrey and his friends bullying. Seeing this, Carrick went there and saved Bo from those wolves. A fight was about to break out between the two groups when their teacher, James, arrived. That night, while Carrick was dreaming of his family, family, Brandon suddenly woke him up. In his sleep, Brandon transformed and broke the bed. He said that this happens once a week, so sorry in advance for disturbing your sleep. Hearing this, Carrick thought that the next few nights weren't going to be very comfortable. The next morning, in combat class, Bert and Brandon were called to fight. But Brandon, in his wild buffalo form, ran away before the fight even started. He said that he didn't believe in fighting. Can't we all just live in peace? Now Carrick was called in his place. When the teacher saw that Carrick didn't trust his own powers, Andre came there. He showed him a small pouch containing cougar urine and told him to smell it carefully. Carrick did so, and his form immediately changed. Despite being smaller, he showed his strength to Bert in the fighting arena. After this, Leroy and Dorian were called. But as soon as Dorian smelled the pouch, he immediately ran away and abandoned the fight. This way, Leroy easily won. At the end of the class, Andrew called Carrick over. He said, "I will teach you how to fight." He gave him the same pouch he had given him before and said, "You will go far in life." When Jeffrey saw that the school's sponsor was paying more attention to Carrick, he became jealous. He challenged Carrick, saying, "If you're so tough, fight 2 wolves." Jeffrey said, "If you win, we'll never bother you again." In the evening, Carrick went to the treehouse with his new friend. He told them that he had accepted the challenge. Brandon was worried when he heard this. He said that if they were caught fighting, they would be expelled from school. But Carrick said that once a lion has given his word, he sticks to it. When Holly realized that they couldn't change his mind, she said that they would support him as much as they could. Brandon said that he would also go to see how he would take on those wolves. That night, the 3 friends secretly left the hostel. Carrick took out the pouch from his pocket, sniffed it, and suddenly transformed. When he reached the place where the fight was supposed to happen, he asked which 2 wolves would be fighting. But then he realized that he had been tricked. Instead of 2 wolves, Jeffrey and his entire pack surrounded him. Yet Carrick didn't back down. He was stronger than all of them. But the wolves attacked from behind, and all of them together tried to bring him down. Seeing his friend in trouble, Holly pushed Brandon down the hill so that he could transform and join the fight. Brandon distracted the wolves, and Carrick attacked. Then Jeffrey and his pack were forced to retreat. The next morning in class, James noticed that some of the children were injured. He sent them to the infirmary for treatment. When asked how they got injured, they all made different excuses, but it was clear that they had fought the previous night. Principal Lisa called Carrick for questioning, but before that, Andrew took him away. While driving, Andrew told him that he knew what had happened last night. He said that a real mountain lion should have been able to defeat all the wolves alone, whether there were 4 or 10. Carrick explained that he had actually left his family at a young age. That's why he never learned to hunt. Upon hearing this, Andrew said he would teach him how to hunt, as he wanted Carrick to become a real hunter. When they returned to school, Lisa scolded Andrew, telling him not to give any student special treatment. She then told Carrick that if he wanted to stay there, he would have to follow the rule. The principal also threatened that if they were caught fighting again, they would be expelled immediately. After Lisa left, Holly and Brandon arrived. They asked what had happened. Just then, Carrick saw Lou heading towards the forest. He immediately followed him. The 2 overheard the teachers talking. They were saying that animal attacks on humans were increasing, which was very strange. What would animals do in the city? It must be the work of shapeshifters. The problem was that if humans found out about them, it would be impossible for the 2 species to coexist. Humans fear what they don't understand, and then they try to destroy it. That's why Lisa and the Woodwalker Council now need to come up with a plan to prevent further attack. On the way back, Carrick told Lou that when he was coming here with his mother, he saw 4 wolves attacking humans, and now he's certain it was Jeffrey and his friend. The next day, Andrew took Carrick to the forest for his first training session. He said that the more times he transforms, the easier it will be to control both of his forms. Only then will he be able to understand his full strength. Before the hunt began, the cougar chose its prey and slowly moved away to set a trap. It caught a deer. Then they both ate the prey together and returned to school a few hours later. While talking, Andrew mentioned that he had a daughter. If she were alive today, she would be your age. That day at lunchtime, Lou noticed that her friend hadn't eaten. She asked, "Aren't you hungry?" Then Carrick explained that he had gone hunting with Andrew that morning and had caught his first prey. Hearing this, Lou got up and left because she remembered the day a cougar attacked her mother, and she hasn't been able to walk properly since. To apologize to his friend, Carrick followed her into the forest but couldn't catch up to her. That evening, while trying to sleep in his room, Carrick heard Jeffrey scream and saw through the window that the wolves were plotting something. To find out what was wrong, Carrick followed them, and soon they reached a nearby town. There, the wolves tried to scare a security guard and break into a factory. That's when Carrick caught them red-handed. As soon as the wolves realized someone was following them, they decided to attack Carrick together. But at the right moment, Andrew arrived and stopped the fight before it even began. He immediately told all the children to get into the car. When the wolves returned to the school, Carrick was called aside for a private conversation. That's when Carrick learned the truth. Andrew was behind all the attacks. Carrick was saddened by this revelation. He said he shouldn't have trusted him. Apparently, a few years ago, Andrew had lost his wife and daughter. They were killed by a hunter while they were walking in the woods. Since then, he had hated humans because, in his opinion, humans had taken over over the world. They were oppressing the animal. Countless animals had become extinct. For the past 50 years, many shapeshifters had tried to become human and implement laws to protect the forests and animals, but nothing changed. Things only got worse. Because of this, Andrew felt he had to take matters into his own hand. Just then, Sheila came to serve the food. Carrick noticed that Sheila was wearing a prosthetic leg. Andrew explained that Sheila was actually a snake. When she was traveling in her animal form, someone ran her over with a car. Humans just have to go off-roading. While eating, Andrew asked Carrick to join his project, but Carrick said he didn't want to hurt anyone. Andrew replied that his goal wasn't to harm humans, but to disable their machines so they couldn't launch new projects that would harm animals. After that, Carrick said he would think about it. "Don't worry," he added. "I won't tell anyone about you." The next morning, Carrick helped Brandon with his practice. While running in the woods, a wild buffalo, crashing through everything in its path, collided with Carrick's parents' car, who were coming to the school to visit their son. Seizing the opportunity, Brandon began apologizing to the family. "Sorry about the accident, sir." But then Carrick jumped in. He said that Brandon felt everyone's pain as his own. He was a very good person. "Come, let me show you my room." As soon as they entered the room, Anna saw a squirrel rummaging through her belongings. Just then, the principal suddenly arrived. She told them that there were fixed visiting hours and that they couldn't just come whenever they pleased. Before leaving, Carrick's mother said that they would be staying in the nearby town for the whole week and invited her son to join them on the trip. Carrick immediately agreed and said goodbye to his family, as they all had to go and get their car fixed. As soon as his family left, Carrick received a call from Andrew. He told Carrick that they were going to do something this week. He asked if he wanted to come along, but Carrick said that he would be going with his parents this week and that he didn't like the idea of harming humans. Hearing this, Andrew immediately hung up. Now, to clear his head, Carrick went into the forest. After a few hours, he had walked several miles. Suddenly, Wing appeared and told him that everyone was worried about his disappearance. Then a drone appeared, and Wing quickly told Carrick to run away because a hunter had sent dogs after them. A few minutes later, he reached a cougar and climbed a tree, but the drone continued to follow him. To help his friend, Wing destroyed the drone, and Carrick kept running. After running for a while, he stopped to rest. Then Shadow threw him some clothes so he could return to his human form. With the help of his friends, the boy safely returned to school, but before he could even enter the camp, he collapsed from exhaustion. Luckily, Andrew found him. He took him to his house so he could rest. When he woke up, Carrick told him everything that had happened in the forest. He then wondered if his real family had also been killed by similar hunters, just like Andrew's daughter and wife. This thought made him so angry that he became completely ready to fight against humans. Before setting out on his mission, Carrick learned that Andrew had sent some shapeshifters to try and find his real family. Andrew promised that if they were alive, they would be reunited soon. A little later, Carrick received a call from his mother. He told her that he had a lot of schoolwork and wouldn't be able to go on the trip. Suddenly, Brandon and Holly arrived. She said they were worried about their friend, but Carrick told them to leave. After driving for a while, they arrived at a specific location. There, Andrew divided everyone into teams and told Carrick to scare away the wild animal. Meanwhile, Jeffrey and his wolves started moving the workers away from the area to prevent anyone from getting hurt. After scaring away some rabbits, Carrick saw that his parents had arrived to set up camp nearby. He began thinking of ways to protect his parents, and then, trembling with fear, Carrick received a call from his mentor. Andrew said, "I saw your family setting up tents in that valley, but don't worry, they're not in any danger." The workers were terrified by the wolves roaming around angrily and climbed into a truck to escape. As soon as the people left, Dan got into the vehicle and started dropping pieces of wood. Carrick even told him to stop the mission. "I'm scared. My family might be in danger." That's when Brandon and Holly also arrived to help. When Shadow and Wing flew overhead, the wolves abandoned everything in fear and ran away with their tails between their legs, afraid that news of their actions would reach the school. At that moment, Lou arrived and tried to explain to Derek that there were many other ways to stop the work. If everything was destroyed, humans would retaliate, but he didn't listen. He pushed Lou, and then the crows attacked. In anger, Derek transformed into a large bear, but this time, Brandon also jumped into the fight to save his friend. With Holly's help, Carrick pushed Dan out of the vehicle and transformed into a cougar to chase him, but then Andrew arrived and removed the wooden plank that was preventing the vehicle from falling. This caused the vehicle to start moving on its own. Seeing Carrick's rebellion, Andrew attacked and a fight ensued between the two. But as soon as Carrick saw the large pieces of wood heading towards his family in the valley, he abandoned the fight and risked his life to save them. Hearing the sound of the falling wood from above, Anna told everyone to hide, but Melody couldn't hear her mother's screams because she was wearing headphones. Seeing the wood coming towards her, Melody screamed, but Carrick jumped in at the last moment and saved her. Terrified, Anna went looking for her daughter and breathed a sigh of relief when she saw Melody alive. Melody said that a cougar had pushed her out of the way and saved her, but her father didn't believe her. He thought his daughter was saying anything out of fear. A few minutes later, Lou and her friends found Carrick unconscious in the fort and were terrified that their friend might be dead, but everyone breathed a sigh of relief when the mountain lion opened its eyes. Carrick immediately ran to see if his family was all right. Then Andrew arrived and said that he was walking with a boy nearby when he witnessed the accident. He immediately called a helicopter to take the family to the hospital. Everyone got out safe. Seeing his parents safe, Carrick became angry. He said he would tell the principal who was really responsible. To keep his secret, Andrew said that he had found Carrick's real family, but he would only tell him where they were if Carrick promised not to tell anyone what had happened that day. Now Carrick had no choice but to remain silent. When the children returned to school, everyone welcomed them like heroes because they had prevented a war between humans and animals. If you liked the video, please like it and subscribe to the channel. See you in the next video.